that the family of Ella Cook, the Alabama young woman who was a sophomore, has been told that she was the target of what happened at Brown. I have no idea whether that's true. There's other theories about why the person did what they did, but now that we don't know who the assailant is, it's going to be harder to say. But if it's true that she was targeted, that's a big story because she was one of the most visible conservatives on that campus. Don't know that it's true, but probably most of you don't even know that that's being alleged because you'd have to follow certain accounts on X or have sources, as I do, who are telling me that. So, Amber, if she was targeted, and again, we don't know that, but if she were targeted, what would the implications of that be?
Well, I'll start with a couple of things that I think lend credence to that theory, which is one, typically when we see mass school shooters, they don't just stop and walk away, right? Usually they keep going until they're apprehended by police, shot dead, or they kill themselves.
Yeah. Amber, let me just stop you.
Yep.
I should have been clear. She was the number 2 person at the Young Republicans branch on Brown's campus. So that's why some people are concerned if she were targeted. Go ahead, Amber. I apologize.
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and interrupt Amber because she's not going to say anything that's useful here.
Useful. There's speculation about speculation.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so incredibly. Mark Halperin is supposed to be a news person, and look, I've got feelings about this guy that go beyond his news coverage, but just in this, this was 3 days before the person was now found having committed suicide in New Hampshire. This has absolutely nothing to do with this girl. We now understand. He was also the person who murdered the MIT professor. Right. And had gone to school with him. And, the connection is clearly not about conservatism, but that narrative suits Halperin's the audience he is trying to build and to feed. So he wants an anti-conservative narrative around a horrific school shooting. You're going to politicize this and pretend that not everybody knows this sort of thing is being discussed because they don't have my sources. Yeah. Well, your source, like what, some guy that you saw some clip on because everybody doesn't watch who you do or follow who you do on social media. This person was clearly a crank. And we're supposed to feel ill-informed because we're not following cranks?
Yeah, totally. You wouldn't know this if you weren't listening to, Cat Turd or MAGA conservative X2375 on Twitter.
Based in Russia.
Right. No, I mean, it's infuriating for so many reasons, not least that it's internally self-discrediting, right? We don't know who the person is. We don't know anything, right? But you wouldn't know about. So let me speculate, and let me tell you that you should feel bad for not knowing about this baseless speculation, because you don't follow the kind of brand. I mean, it's so illustrative, and as you say, I mean, not only is he doing it, but he's doing it because he's getting a whole segment of his program out of it, right? So it's not just Mark Halperin. I'm going to get on and say it. I'm going to implicate these other 2 guests who are going to explain the implications of the thing, which not only do we not have any inclination is true, we have no facts whatsoever. And of course, people will have watched that generated clips, that clip we just saw, right? That clip will, you and I often, reference that between, a lie's halfway around the world before the truth gets its boots on. I mean, that's what this is. This is a lie, which is spread, which feeds the narrative of victimization and feeds the idea that every bad thing that happens is political. I mean, we hit this. We've hit this place in our society where every time there is a mass shooting or some kind of incident or an assassination, the very first thing is, was it my team or the other guy's team? Right. I mean, that's everybody's first inclination. And it's not just our personal inclination. It's the narrative frame that that the news media imposes on all of this, which, red or blue, right. And in the absence of facts, why let the facts stand in the way of a good story, right? Like, you just leap to this. And of course, there will be, as with every one of these things, there'll be a bunch of conspiracism that, from Newtown to every one of them, a whole little cottage industry of conspiracies. So even though, the shooter has now been identified and is dead, lots of people will believe, oh, it was some kind of, it was whoever, it was the French Foreign Legion, it was the Mossad, it was right, it was Democrat, it was Hillary Clinton, whatever.
Yeah, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. This stuff gets out. I would love to be proved wrong, but I will be shocked to learn that a correction or retraction or clarification was put out by Mark to his audience to make sure people understood that his baseless speculation was entirely wrong. And he apologizes for that kind of baseless speculation. It's just it's out there.
Yeah.
The clip that John Harwood posted was from a right-wing conservative, not conservative, just a right-wing fringe person who had retweeted Halperin. She has 250,000 followers.
There you go.
And in the comments, there was another right-wing person on X that had over 200,000 followers. So, it's off to the races. You don't get it back. And it is so incredibly irresponsible and dangerous in the era that we are in, where we are dealing with real political violence to fabricate